Hi everyone, so you have a whole chicken and need to know how to cut it into pieces? Well, let's jump right in and I'll show you how. All you need is a sharp knife. This is a petty knife and it's basically a small version of a chef's knife, and I use this a lot when I cook at home. It's thin and easily maneuverable, which is really good for butchering. You can also use a boning knife if you have one, but it's not necessary. I also like to use a big chef's knife, but again, the most important thing is that the knife is sharp. We're going to start by cutting the skin between the leg and the body. And we can go ahead and do this on both legs. Now flip the chicken over and we're going to pop the joint out. And you're going to have to use a little bit of pressure to do this, but you'll feel it. There you go. And this is where we want to cut with our knife to get underneath of that joint. There's also this little piece of meat called an oyster. Then just slide your knife along the backbone of the chicken, and this is going to go all the way down to the tail. And here's our first leg off. Now we just do the same thing on the other leg. We want to pop out that joint. There you go. And then find the oyster. You can feel it right there. It's a little nub of meat. Cut underneath it, and then just slide your knife down the backbone of the chicken leg, and it should pop right off. If you want to leave your bones on the chicken breast, then you can cut through here, but there's a lot of rib bones that are a little tough to get through, so I don't even bother with that, and you really have to whack at it. So what I do is I find the center of the breast, rub your finger down, and you'll feel the cartilage in the middle, and then you're going to cut down on each side of the breast. The next cut is going to be along the wishbone, and it's shaped like an upside down Y. Then we just want to slide our knife down the bone of the chicken, and anywhere that's going to stick, cut that little piece off right there, and then just continue to slide down until you get down to the joint of the wing. And you should be able to wiggle right through the joint. Don't really need to press too hard. Sometimes I like to tap it down. And that's the first breast off, and then we just repeat the process on the other side. Remember, long gliding cuts all the way down the bone. Then just locate the joint and you should be able to cut right through it, no problem. Now somebody's going to say, oh man, you left so much meat on the chicken, but guess what? I boil this down when I make my stocks, I pick all the meat off and I use it for chicken soup. I'm going to cut this chicken breast restaurant style, or it's also called an airline chicken breast. If you want to have a boneless chicken breast, then you can just cut the drumette and the wing off, but we're going to leave it for the airline breast. Find the joint of the drumette, and we want to cut through the skin and the meat all the way around. Then just pull the meat and the skin off. And then the next step is to take your knife and just go right through the tip of the bone. I use the heel of the knife and then just kind of tap, and it should come right off. And here's our airline chicken breast. The bone's nice and clean. If there is any meat, we can just take our knife and scrape it off. Flip it over, and it still has the tenderloin on there. The tenderloin is still attached, but when I cook these, I take them off. It just cooks a little more consistently. And then we just repeat the process again, cut right through the joint. Cut all the way around the bone to make sure the skin and the meat are separated. If it's giving you a little trouble, then just use your knife to cut up the bone. Use the heel of your knife and give it a tap. There you go. If you don't want to roast your leg whole and you want to separate the leg from the thigh, you want to flip it over, find the joint, and just slide your knife through. If it gives you any resistance, then start over again, but it should cut through no problem, just like this. And then you have the leg and the thigh separated. And you can see here I was a little bit off on my alignment for the joint, so I backed up, start over, right through, no problem. And there was just extra skin on this piece, so I just trimmed that off, but if you like crispy skin, then just leave it on. And this technique will work for ducks, turkeys, quail, whatever kind of winged bird you have. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you next time.